And in our main event, we have two men who absolutely despise each other. On one side, a man who's trying to live up to the family name. On the other side, a young man who absolutely wants to be the face of the entire PFL.
And let's not forget about those light heavyweights, Coach. Antonio Carlos Jr. is ready to get his second world title, but not if Sullivan Cauley has anything to say about it. He said that this is his turn to take the belt.
3 weight classes tonight, including the biggest of them all, the heavyweights. 2 grappling dynamos will stage about 25 paces away from either immortality as champions or better luck next year. They'll do it right here.
This is the walkout. This is the last moment before they face the crowd, they face their opponent, hearts racing, game plans going through their head. Maybe not trying to think about how they're going to spend the money, but maybe thinking about that nice gold belt and what it's going to look like around their waist. It's a big night for these guys.
The thumps and the thuds are getting louder tonight with the middleweights, light heavyweights, and heavyweights, but the stakes are the same. Who's going to go out and impose their will tonight and take home the hardware?
He means one shot to better my family's life.
He actually relishes the role of being the villain.
Terrifying individual.
One shot to prove that I'm one of the best in the world.
Oh my God, Adrian Edwards with the finish!
I feel like it's my calling. I don't think there's anything more glorious out there about getting myself locked in a cage with another person and fight until the end.
I don't care who you name, put them in front of me, they're going down.
You have to be almost like perfect in every fight, in every reaction.
Just gorgeous, precise.
This is what I've been looking for. Years of work to achieve a greater goal.
Being the champion is special.
All my blood, sweat, and tears.
The hours you put in, sacrifice, the discipline.
This will mean it's all been worth it.
He feels like this is his destiny.
Everything I did led till now, led till this moment. Tonight, I become a world champion.
The gold belts contested for tonight in the heavyweight, the light heavyweight, and the middleweight divisions. It's the big boys taking center stage in Hollywood, Florida at the iconic Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. This is the culmination of a journey for these fighters. For some, 3 men will achieve immortality in PFL history. They will be crowned tournament champions in 2025. It's been a long journey this year. Smart Cage is ready for the action to start shortly. We're about 30 minutes away from the first fight tonight. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Dan Hardy here for 3 tournament finals. And Randy, it's the big guys. Are we going to get finishes? Are they going to be tactical? 25 minutes, the gas tank's got to be deep. How do they play out tonight?
I think we're going to see a little bit of all of that play out tonight. It's going to be amazing. Obviously, you don't want to blink with these heavyweights. It takes one zig when you should have zagged, and your night is over. The power and the horsepower is going to be on display.
3 more belts to hand out. We've been giving belts out in the other weight classes as well. In fact, last week we had 3. Dan, let's talk about the main event from a week ago. Alfie Davis stopping one of the biggest win streaks in MMA. Gaji Rabadanov hadn't lost in many years, and he'd been on the finishing streak. This one went 5, but an incredible bout.
It was an incredible bout, but a very, very close bout as well. You know, Alfie Davis had to really fight a very, very disciplined game. He had to make good decisions. He had to stay away from the real dangerous things that Gaji can do. And of course, he got that decision. What an incredible win for him to put himself in a real interesting place in that lightweight division.
Alfie claims the tournament championship, the $500,000, and the belt that goes with it, setting up some interesting matchups potentially at 155 pounds. Jenna Bishop on the hunt again. Liz Carmouche looking for another piece of hardware. She was a Bellator champion, and Randy, she got it done here in the PFL Smart Cage.
Amazing to watch. The fight IQ on display is remarkable. At 41 years old, she does not seem to be slowing down. Liz Carmouche is firing on all cylinders with new nutritionist, new strength and conditioning coach that's freeing up a bunch of her life. And the new school, Jenna Bishop, amazing world champion in jiu-jitsu. If she gets where she needs to be, she knows exactly how to finish. She had trouble getting there with Liz Carmouche. A great fight.
Carmouche caps off the bracket as your tournament winner. 41 years old and still going strong. And this women's flyweight division is brand new in the PFL, and we've got some interesting matchups potentially on the horizon. Maybe Liz Carmouche, Dakota Ditcheva, Samiko Inaba, and Keelholtz are both out there. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, we've got so many good fights. I mean, of course, Juliana Velasquez as well, another former Bellator champion. She got a good win over Shakalova last week as well. And then we've got to think about the fighters coming through, the likes of Paulina Wisniewska, who won the PFL Europe title. She is going to be looking to get into a tournament, into a bracket, and test herself against these world-class fighters.
Heavyweights are on deck this week. We will see the big boys slugging it out. And we got here in some odd circumstances, if we're being honest. Alexander Romanov with the groin shot ended up being the stoppage, and Oleg Popov grinded his way through 2 previous fights to get to this championship matchup. It was Moldavsky, who of course former Bellator title contender as well. Randy, speaking with Romanov in the fighter meetings, he was unsatisfied with this ending even though he advanced.
Yeah, he said full out. This is not the way you want to advance to the finals. You'd rather beat your opponent full out than have it go this way. And he was seriously injured. It took him a good week to recover from the groin shot and get himself back into training to get ready for the final. He's an amazingly big guy, a polar bear of a man, if you will. That body lock in that first round was incredible.
On the other side, you had Oleg Popov again. Second year in a row, he's been in the PFL final. Rodrigo Nascimento had designs on advancing, but man, this dude's wrestling is just stifling. If you want to stand with him, he won't let you. If you want to move to the center of the cage, he's got other plans for you. Can he do it again tonight, Dan?
It's a good question. Look, I thought his striking looked better against Nascimento as well. You know, a bit more confident in that range. And what I will say as well, even from this last fight that we saw him against Nascimento, I think he looks in better shape this time around. I mean, yesterday at the fighter interviews, I even mentioned it to him. Like, he clearly looks like he's lost some weight, he's slimmed down. I think he knows this is going to be a tough 25 minutes.
Everybody's favorite weight class, the 205ers. This is what the championship bout looks like at light heavyweight. Sullivan Cauley, the young rising star, Antonio Carlos Jr. He's back in a championship opportunity. He took home a PFL belt in a previous year, and then he had to take time off. He had to get knee surgery, did a little reality television. In the fighter meetings, he told us, I wanted to prove to people I'm still a fighter.
Yeah, he believes he still deserves to be here, is still firing on all cylinders. He hasn't gotten over the hump, so to speak. This guy is an amazing black belt in jiu-jitsu, world champion several times, and not afraid to step in the pocket and let his hands go. That's going to be a big factor tonight against Sullivan Cauley, who's got boxing credentials, wrestling credentials, an amazingly young, well-rounded fighter.
And coming off the biggest win of his career against the former champion in Phil Davis.
Yeah, you could see that was a little bit surreal for him yesterday when we were discussing that with him in the fighter interviews. Of course, he sees himself as being the winner of this tournament, but actually realizing himself as he's going through, getting a win over someone like Phil Davis, and not even really allowing it to sink in because he knows the finals are coming up. I think once this is all said and done, if Sullivan Cauley walks away the winner, I think he's going to look back on his year and be really impressed with himself.
You can see by the numbers, Shoeface with a lot more experience. Cauley is the bigger finisher, and he's built so much confidence, not only in live competition, but in training with guys like Ryan Bader, CB Dalloway for his entire career. For more on this one, our cage side reporter, Kennedy Smith.
Thanks, Sean. Guys, this is a huge comeback injury moment for both of our light heavyweight world tournament finalists. Sullivan Cauley and Antonio Carlos Jr. both tore their ACLs around 3 years ago, and they both decided to do some different paths while rehabbing. Sullivan Cauley started his own pickleball business, and then Antonio Carlos Jr. went on Big Brother Brazil season 23 while he was rehabbing. So both of these guys had new futures ahead of them, but they knew that fighting was their passion. So tonight, who is going to get that Cinderella moment and really prove that they are back and better than ever? Is it going to be Antonio Carlos Jr., our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, or Sullivan Cauley, our finisher phenom? We'll see here in a couple of hours.
talked heavyweights, we talked light heavyweights. The middleweight bracket looks like this heading into tonight. Fabian Edwards, he's got history with everybody in this division, but man, the future might be Dalton Rosta. And this has been a fun week because these guys legitimately can't stand one another. Rosta in the semifinal, he had to avenge the only loss of his career against the guy who's got the kryptonite style. Push the pace, drain the gas tank, take away the explosiveness. He executed a really smooth game plan, Randy.
Very, very good fight. Very, very close fight. Aaron Jeffries in this fight from start to finish. Dalton Rosta controlling the striking, controlling the range of the fight, and I think that got him the nod ultimately in the decision, but a great fight.
That's how Dalton Rosta punched his ticket. Fabian Edwards told us at the beginning of the year, it's going to be me in the championship. I don't care who I fight. And he looked really good against Josh Silveira, who's been a contender in the PFL at 185 and at 205.
I think not only has Fabian had a really good couple of performances, but I actually think this is the best version of Fabian Edwards that we have ever seen in his mixed martial arts career. He's really stepped up to the occasion, to the opportunity. He's beaten two incredible fighters on the way here, and I like the fact that there's real needle in this main event, in this incredible matchup between a really good striker and a really powerful wrestler.
Here's the comparison by the numbers. Edwards does have the experience advantage. He is at slightly higher finishing rate. He's also fought tougher competition over the course of his 19 fights, but that does not dissuade Dalton Rosta at all. Here's a little trash talk from the American and representative of American Top Team. I hope it goes 5 rounds and I get to beat the out of this guy. I want to take this man's heart from him. I want him to quit on me. Easier said than done, but I like the intent behind the quote, Randy.
Yes, absolutely. Your job walking up in that cage should be to break your opponent every single time. This is not special. He needs to do that with every guy he walks in there with. I'm sure he feels the same way. Can he do that to Fabian Edwards? That's going to be a big, big task.
What the big question is, can he do it over 25 minutes? I mean, the question that Fabian's going to ask constantly is, how's your gas tank? How are you feeling? Can you breathe like I can breathe? Because my cardio for 25 minutes is excellent. And of course, the trash talking feeds into that. Dalton Rosta being so angry and so tense, that could be draining for him. It's going to be a real test for him tonight, see if he can control that.
Well, we've been able to steer mostly clear of that tension, but Jonathan Coachman, not so lucky this week. Coach, you were caught in between it earlier in the week.
And we thought it was a good idea. Sean, Randy, Dan, great to see you guys. Now, when you talk about these two, Fabian and Dalton, you're talking about two guys that had two completely different roads to get here. But the one thing they have in common, guys, is they absolutely hate each other. And I mean a lot. So we thought it might be fun to sit them down in the same room at the same time with me in the middle. What were we thinking? It's time for Coach's Conversation. First and foremost, we are excited today to have the two men in our main event. Of course, Fabian Edwards on my right, Dalton Rosta on my left. You guys had a face-off. It got a little spicy.
7 weeks. Yeah, keep talking. Keep talking. Get your hand out of my face.
What was said in the smart cage and why that night did it immediately get like that?
All I know is staring into this man's soul, and I could see that he was scared.
Does anybody in this room think I'm scared of this man? That's gonna come and sniff my crotch?
None of them are gonna answer
what's so scary about that?
None of them are gonna answer
Now, what
you.
is scary about that?
Let me ask you this, Fabian. During that post-fight interview, he kind of crashed your interview.
All right, Dalton, I just asked this question to Fabian. You know,
You got nothing for me. You got nothing for me.
And you seemed to laugh a little bit. Yeah. Did you find it funny?
He's a clown. I can't take this guy serious.
Why do you have the energy to him? Why do you say those things to him?
Because I just don't like him. And I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna put a clinic on you. Clinic.
I've done my work, and we're here to collect. Stay in Miami for a little bit. Relax, have some food, you know what I mean?
South Beach?
Have a little South Beach. I mean, give me some recommendations and all of that. You know what I mean?
I'll give you some recommendations.
Yeah.
Just plan on doing it without the belt.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the video or not. He was in a room, and there was a belt there.
Fabian ain't coming anywhere near this thing. This thing's mine. Throw this out.
He wants to act, and I'll throw it off and put his act on. Doesn't bother me. I mean, it's nothing new to go in there and fight someone that talks. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I said, I know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen. And that's it.
Gentlemen, I appreciate the time. Good luck to you both in the main event on Thursday night, PFL World Tournament in Hollywood, Florida. And by the way, if you want to check out the entire interview, you can go to our PFL YouTube page. Now, at the weigh-in yesterday, yes, Dalton looked great. Fabian Edwards looked great. And I think they're kind of sick and tired of being around each other because they were right there, nose to nose, chin to chin. I can't wait for this main event tonight live on ESPN. Now, we want you to be a part of the action by voting on the fights tonight. All you got to do is scan the QR code right there. Can you judge the same as the judges at Cage-Side? We're going to find out tonight, courtesy of Verdict. All right, it's time to slide into some DMs. Let's send it into the Smart Cage. Kennedy.
Time for Kennedy's DMs. Now, this is where you guys send in your questions, and we, the broadcast team, are going to answer them. We've got some good ones, so let's get rolling. We have a question from Moha395 for Sean. Who is the best fighter in the PFL right now?
Ooh, the best fighter in the PFL right now. I'm going to go relative to the competition that person has to face. I'm going to say Dakota Ditcheva. There's a lot of really great fighters on the roster, but I don't think anyone is as far ahead of the field as Dakota is right now.
That's a good answer. All right, over to you, Randy. This is from Mads Burnell. Hey, I think he's one of our fighters. He wants to know, Randy, all of us in the new school fighters looked up to OG Randy Couture, but who did he look up to as he was coming up?
Wow, that's a great question. Most of my mentors were guys like Kenny Monday that came from that wrestling background in that wrestling world. That I got to rub elbows with a whole bunch of those top-notch wrestlers. As I transitioned into fighting, it was those OG guys like Hoist Gracie who literally revolutionized martial arts.
All right, my favorite question of the night, and this is a surprise, guys, from Mike Negron, said, Kennedy, you are a D1 athlete, but you work with world-class champions, but who would win in a push-up contest? All right, Randy, you can't be in this. I'm kicking you out. You haven't recovered enough yet. So I challenge you, Sean, push-up contest.
Me and you are doing
right
a push-up contest right now?
Right now.
In the Smart Cage?
Jack it off. Let's go.
All right.
All right, guys, you wanna broadcast this for us?
I will count them out.
Let's go.
You're doing push-ups in the dress?
One,
2, 3, 4,
we can be here a while.
6, 7, 8,
did I mention I'm in heels?
10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, we're slowing down. 16.
Are you slowing down?
Not at all.
17.
I gotta go to push-up. I told y'all I'm not stopping.
Right now.
Quit!
Coach, these aren't going to wear out anytime soon. Back to you, brother.
All right, while they continue on, look who's here. Look who decided to come in the house tonight. Thank you for driving 15 minutes.
No problem. I got here just in time to not do the push-up contest.
It is time to lock it in with my main man, Ian Parker. And we're going to start with the most popular parlay in all of the land. Parker's Parlay, what do we got today?
Coach, we're going to go with a three-legger. We're going to go with Magomed under 1.5. The Pergande fight under 2.5. And last but not least, the return of Impa Kasaganai to get it done. Plus 173 legger. Let's go.
All right. Now, there's some people out there, they may want a little bit more cheddar, a little bit more cheese, if you will. Give me a long shot.
I'm giving them the whole wheel of cheese, if you want to go with that analogy. This long shot's going to pay out at over plus 5,001. Let's go with Tyler Ray to win by decision. Impa Kasaganai to win by KO or TKO. And last but not least, the main event, Dalton Rosta to get it done by decision.
Now, I will note that in my coach's conversation, Dalton told me he thinks it will go the distance, 5 rounds, if that will help you at home. Now, there's people that don't like parlays. How about the betting rundown? Give me 4 straight ones.
How dare they? But that's okay. We got some good stuff here. Parker's Premium Play, Sullivan Cauley to beat Shoeface. Impa Kasaganai to win inside the distance. I am shocked at numbers there. By the way, him by KO, plus 140. Josh Silveira, plus 220, makes no sense. And last but not least, I'm riding or dying with Dalton Rosta. I think he gets it done tonight. Woo!
All right, he's done, but he'll be around the rest of the evening, live betting, you know, all that good stuff. But I want a little main event breakdown, if you will. Here is the main card tonight. 3 fights, all of them going 5 rounds on ESPN for the title. $500,000 and becoming the #1 contender for our world champion. Time for a little fight tactics with my main man, Dan Hardy.
Tonight's main event, the middleweights facing off for the World Tournament Championship. On one side, you've got Fabian Edwards, a lethal striker. On the other side, Dalton Rosta, the powerhouse wrestler. This could be a battle of striker v grappler, but it could also be a battle of conditioning. I want to talk to you about Dalton Rosta's ground game, though. It's been really impressive so far in the World Tournament. And we saw in the Sadabou fight how he sets up this Darce choke. He's going to move around headways. Now he's isolated the head and arm. That's going to force Sadabou to turn onto his side, and that allows Dalton Rosta to tangle up his legs. Beautiful work here. You can see from the other angle, he chocks the hip. He locks him in there as he moves around to the top of the head side. Now you can see Dalton Rosta's other hand is available. That's going to come back to the bicep and form that figure 4 position. This is where the Darce choke starts. Now the leg's tangled up, and the beautiful thing about this, Saddy's going to use the top leg to kick his leg free, thinking that's going to free him. In actuality, Dalton Rosta wanted the top leg. He trapped the bottom one to bait the top one coming over. Very, very clever work. And of course, the muscularity on this guy, the squeeze that he can get on that Darce choke is impressive. There's the head and arm isolated. He's going to move around head side. You can see he's chopped the hip here. As Sadabou rolls, he's going to get his hands together into the figure 4. He traps the near side leg. Saddy kicks it free with the other leg. Clever, clever work by Rosta, and he traps the top leg. Puts the squeeze on. You can see the curve all the way through Sadabou's back and his spine. That puts all that pressure on his neck, making it very, very difficult for him to breathe. Of course, Dalton Rosta needs to get this fight to the floor, but Fabian Edwards' clinch striking is going to make that a little bit more challenging. Now, Fabian, as we've seen so far in the World Tournament, he's got really, really sharp counter striking. Here against Impa Kasanganay, he throws a jab out there, just touches him with it. Forces Kasanganay to crash forward. You can see the right hand of Kasanganay goes over his shoulder as Fabian moves to the side. This sets up the back elbow to come through and crack him. Cuts him over the eyebrow. And we're going to see the same thing in a moment. Kasanganay pushing forward. Fabian grabbing the single necktie. One elbow. 2 elbows on the side of the head. That forces Impa to freeze in the spot, and then Fabian comes crashing forward. Skip flying knee, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. And then a pop cross, follows up with the ground and pound. It was a lovely finish. Look at this knee. He's reaching for the head, but he's going to throw his left leg up first to power the right leg. The right one is the one that connects. Now, luckily for Impa, this didn't land cleanly, but it did start the beginning of the end. But it reminded me of this Bellator finish. Look at this beautiful finish. Same thing again. The right leg goes up to power the left leg into the side of his opponent's head. And if you're a wrestler, if you're a level changing, you do not want that knee coming at the center line. That's going to be a hell of a battle. Striker v grappler, a battle of conditioning over 25 minutes.
I could listen to Dan Hardy break down fights all day. Time now for the PFL roundtable. But before we get in, I just got the official numbers in. And Sean O'Connell, you're a former PFL world champion. Kennedy, 29 push-ups. You just had 26. In a word, embarrassing.
That sounds made up. I demand a recount. I could have gone all night, Coach, but everyone got bored and took the cameras away.
Yeah, that happens. But I got to move on before you make any more excuses like somebody one-hopping a first pitch at a baseball game. All right, Randy, I want to start with you. We've had 7 World Tournament champions crowned so far. What has been the biggest surprise to you?
Man, the biggest surprise for me was Alfie Davis facing 3 stone cold killers. I didn't think he'd get past Clay Collard. He said it himself, I had questions whether I was going to get past Clay Collard, and right on down the line, finishing that off with Rabadonov. I mean, what an amazing, amazing fight. His striking skills are second to none and very, very unique for our sport. The things he does, the spinning stuff, the elbows, amazing stuff.
Yeah, and he now will be the #1 contender. Usman and Paul Hughes. That's going to be nice. Oh, look who just decided to show up. He's everywhere, Dan Hardy. Now, Dan, you're also a big part of PFL Europe, so I thought it'd be appropriate to ask you for your dream World Tournament matchup. It could be anything.
Man, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, we've got Usman versus Paul Hughes coming up, the rematch. For me, Alfie Davis has just put himself right into that picture. Of course, Gadzhi's a teammate of Usman, so had he won the tournament and Usman wins, then that's problematic. But Alfie Davis can fight either one of those guys. And you've got to think the striking skills that Alfie Davis has got is going to compare very, very well with Paul Hughes and with Usman Nurmagomedov, as well as the trickiness, the spinning elbows, the unusual stuff that both of those guys have got to adapt to deal with. I feel like Alfie Davis has really put himself the cat among the pigeons, we would say in the UK. He's caused some problems at the top of the lightweight division. I think he's going to reap the benefits.
It's one of my favorite sayings, as a matter of fact, from Kansas as well. Sean, real quick, is there a dream matchup for any of our World Tournament winners thus far for you?
Man, great question. I think that the matchup that hopefully set itself up last week when Liz Carmouche took the tournament championship home, I want to see Dakota Ditcheva, rising star, undefeated, against an OG, a seasoned veteran, against someone who's good every single spot in the smart cage, against the cage, on the ground, in the striking. Carmouche versus Ditcheva, sign me up.
I think we'd all sign up for that. Final question is for any of you, and Sean, I'll let you start, but we've got that Usman and Paul Hughes coming up in October. Kind of give me the initial preview as you'll be calling that fight.
Razor thin in the first one, and now both of these guys know exactly how tough their opponent is, which means they level up. I think it's the exact same thing. It comes down to a decision. It'll be razor close, and we'll get a better version of both fighters.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Can't wait to hear these three guys call the fights tonight. Now, if you want to see all the fights from around this great world of ours, it's very, very simple. We have a brand new PFL app. All you got to do is download it. There's tons of content on there. We're going to be adding more and more, so you definitely want to have that. Now, standing by with a man who will be fighting here in Hollywood, Florida tonight, our Kennedy Smith. Kennedy.
Thanks, Coach. Josh, what are some of the biggest takeaways you took from your last fight and that you've been really working on preparing?
Just, losing and winning is sometimes part of the career. I trained well for that last fight, just didn't go out my way, so we just got to keep the ball rolling and use that last camp right into this camp and get a W tonight.
What are some of the threats that Murad's fighting style might pose for you?
He just wrestles for the most part. He's a Dagestan wrestler guy, so I've been there before, been there, done that, so of course we're ready for anything, but I'm expecting a lot of wrestling from him.
Is there anything that you expect to see in the cage? Is there a way that you want this fight to end?
I definitely want to finish him. I'm a finisher, but if I have to fight the whole 15, we'll do that. But I want to hit him where it hurts and make sure that I get back on this win column.
Thanks, Josh. Coach.
Kennedy, thank you very much. America Top Team well represented tonight here at the Hard Rock. This is our main card tonight. We are on main ESPN right after the Little League World Series, all three. And speaking of Dalton Rosta, he said, hey, cameras, come on in. Get here early. And he gave us all access all day. And he started early. This man gets in, gets the workouts in, and he is more than ready to go tonight in our main event. He said it's his time, and he wants to show the entire world that he is the best middleweight ever. Now, do not forget, as always, we have the full post-fight show. Me and the entire crew will have you set on ESPN Plus and the PFL MMA YouTube page right after the event tonight. All right, Kennedy's ready to go. Sean O'Connell clearly is ready to go. It's our last PFL World Tournament night. It's been a great year. It's time to start right now. Let's go.
Legendary, this is legacy.
The PFL brings you the biggest fights with the biggest stars. And now, the official PFL app is here. Stream live fights from all of PFL's international leagues. Plus, fighter access and news from around the world of PFL. The PFL app, available now on your mobile device. Everything PFL in the palm of your hand.
Alfie Davis looking to pull off a major upset over Gaji Ramadana.
He's a very slick striker. Oh, good knee level movement from Alfie. Probably his best round so far.
Win this round, change his fight. Let's go.
Oh, there's the elbow again.
The spinning elbow has become a favorite weapon.
Oh, and again with the knee. Yeah, that was
the wag of the finger. A unanimous decision for Alfie Davis.
If you like violence, then that's why you should tune in.
Good night. That was spectacular.
I feel like I go out there, pick people apart, do them a little bit hurt, and try to take them out.